Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
Today we have a very special guest, Paloma. Would you introduce her?
I would. It is one of my favorite opponents, KO Kendra.
Hello. Hi. I heard, Kendra, you are a owner of a promotion here in Chicagoland.
Yes, I am. I am a co-owner of True Privilege Wrestling.
So Aurora Wolf, who was on the show end of last year, is one of your students.
Yes.
Very cool, very cool. What's your finisher?
I got a couple of them, but a lot of people love taking my voodoo drop.
And by a lot of people, she means me.
Does it hurt your tailbone?
I mean, legit, that was the match that ended that weekend where I ended up bruising my tailbone. Not Kendra's fault. It was my fault because I wrestled 2 matches before where I missed a leg drop off the top rope because that's a smart idea.
She always wants to take.
Yes, but she did not beat me this time.
Welcome to Ring the Bell on this very, very crazy week. Very crazy week. Let's just be thankful that we survived the canceling weekend, basically, without being canceled.
Yeah, we're still here.
Everyone was being canceled over the weekend. Let's talk about the news right now. Becky Lynch got a new contract. Oh yeah, congrats for her.
Surprise, that's the big hot gossip.
You gotta start with some good, some good news. So, Wrestling Observer Newsletter just reported that Becky Lynch signed a new deal last year around WrestleMania time for $1 million per year.
That's awesome.
That is very awesome.
Quite crazy, right? Because we've been talking a lot about women's pay overall in Ring the Bell, and then when you see the chart with the men, it's just so different.
Yeah, drastic difference. I mean, there's a huge wage gap with genders in general, no matter what industry. So you see Becky Lynch get $1 million.
Yeah.
I think it's a step forward in the right direction, not just for wrestling, but women in any industry as a whole. Hopefully more women can be earning such money, maybe even more.
Is that something you've seen in the indie scene too? Is the wage between women and men, is that changing?
It is. There's not that many women. So a promotion contacts you and then they ask you like, what do you charge? What's your fee? And you tell them your fee. Sometimes they look at you crazy, but it's like, this is what I'm worth.
Yep. Exactly.
You either pay what I'm worth or you can't afford me.
Exactly. And that's such an important thing to know is knowing your worth, especially in the indies, because there's so many people who will probably work for free or for less, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's good business. So
after the initial news of the new deal, Becky followed up by tweeting, "Reports not true, haven't signed anything new in years, deal coming up soon." So it is currently not clear if the report of her new deal is indeed false or she's in kayfabe mode because her storyline with Asuka is built around her contract coming up. The news also talked about some other women that also got a raise. So in overall, WWE is working on the wage differences because we've seen Women's Revolution on screen for a while now.
Yeah.
They've been talking about the revolution, but it has to come from the back with the wage differences. And apparently Dana Brooke, Lana, Sasha Banks, among others, have received significant pay raise.
good. About time. I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah, we do as much as the men do.
Yeah.
And a lot of promotions don't see that. But we're important just as much as the men are. And if you look at us just as a wrestler and not, oh, she's a woman. No, that's not right. That's not fair. We're all wrestlers.
Slow clap.
Yeah.
Good point. Ain't that the truth for real? It's awesome that the women's revolution is happening. They're having longer matches, more women on TV. But the real women revolution should be backstage, where everybody's treated as an equal, seen as a wrestler, and not be seen, you're good for a girl. No, you're just a good wrestler.
So speaking of, you're good for a girl, we have a historic moment that happened last weekend. Tessa Blanchard scoring Impact's world title.
That's historic.
That is very historic, but it left a lot of people a little bittersweet.
It is. I mean, it just sucks that such a historic moment has been a little tainted, or it has like a little asterisk on it.
Yeah, so let's talk about everything that happened. Something prompted Tessa Blanchard to tweet out on Saturday saying that women need to stick together, women should not bring each other down, right? That prompted some Tessa-gate, like pouring of big named women
opened the floodgates. Oh my gosh.
Well, of all the allegations of bullying, belittling, and then the big one was apparently incident in Japan where Tessa Blanchard spat on this wrestler and used an N-word, which was the biggest allegation of them all.
For sure. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot to unpack here.
It just all happened that one day. Tessa Blanchard basically denied all of it.
Yeah, and she says the only thing that I'm gonna say about it was like, oh, it's untrue, and I'm not gonna say anything else because that's how ridiculous the claims are. But it's kind of hard whenever so many people are backing up those claims and saying yes, it's true, and providing their own stories about it.
Yeah.
You know, whenever one person thinks you're an asshole, maybe, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. But when everybody thinks you're the asshole, maybe you are the asshole. You know, it's just crazy.
So on Sunday, apparently backstage at Impact, there were a lot of conversation going on about whether Tessa Blanchard should be the champion that night. And I guess that was the plan all along. Yeah. It's interesting because Impact backstage, there are people like Gail Kim. Yeah. There's POC Voice, there's Women's Voice that are actively involved with the creatives. Apparently there were a lot of conversations. And they did end up with Tessa being the champion. What happened after that was another, because Tessa, after the championship win, had a little speech that was off air.
Nobody in this life is perfect. We're all human. And it doesn't matter what you say about me.
She basically said, everyone makes mistakes.
It doesn't matter what you call me. I've got one of the strongest minds that I've ever known. So whenever you come for me, you come for all these people, and I am now your world champion.
I have the mind that
I have the best mind I know in the business.
So which was like, sorry, not sorry. Like
that was a fake apology.
It was an excuse. Yeah.
So it's kind of almost backtracking with what she said, because she said she denied the allegations, but now she's saying that everybody makes mistakes, and her adding the whole like, oh, I have the best mind in the business that I know was just kind of like unnecessary. Like if you really think you're the best and you have the best mind or whatever, you shouldn't be the one saying it. Everybody else should say it for you. And that was just like the wrong place, the wrong time. You should like read the crowd. That shouldn't be the first thing you say.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Paloma.
This reflects just general atmosphere of the United States where people just don't apologize anymore. They just don't do it. They just don't own up to it. Somehow apology has become a sign of weakness in this country.
For some reason.
This is a weird culture that is spreading into wrestling world too.
I think she should either own up to it, and I get it. People do grow, people do change.
Absolutely,
I do believe that people do grow and change. But with growth and change comes owning what your mistakes, learning from them, and apologizing. How are you going to learn from your mistakes if you don't acknowledge them?
Exactly.
How are you going to learn and move on and be a better person if you don't put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and apologize and be like straight up about it? And I think that's the place where she really like dropped the ball. Like how she reacted to this, I think was really what would speak to her character, as opposed to the allegations and stuff, whether it be true or not. You know, I feel like how she reacted to this, it was a really big point on her character and her career and how she's going to be looked at.
She pretty much told people she said it by just feeding in to what people were saying. The comments and the stuff that she was saying, she fed into it. So you told the world that you basically said it, but not telling them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you did not do it or say it, you wouldn't have fed into the bull.
Well, Allison Kay said it herself too. I don't think they're trying to cancel Tessa. Canceling person.
This whole cancel culture
that's toxic, but you just have to be accountable for what you've done.
Own up to what she's done.
Grow from there. Be courageous and just apologize. And she didn't do that, and she's a world champion. That's very disappointing.
And a lot of people were saying like, oh, what coincidence that now you guys are saying something. With the day before she has a big historic match, you guys bring it up. But I think a lot of people are saying that like she almost exposed herself, or like that was an easy target with her first initial tweet. But also I think it was Allison Kay who pointed out a quite good point, saying like this was not my story to tell. This was La Rosa Negra's story to tell. So why is she gonna call out something that didn't even happen? happened to her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call somebody else out for something that didn't happen to me. That's their own business and stuff like that. So I think that was a good call on Allison K's part.
Yeah, so there are some updates from this whole situation where bodyslam.net did a little article saying that according to our source, they apologized to each other. Like, it was just like, okay, so I don't know how true that is, but La Rosa did an interview.
Yo no espero recibir disculpas de nadie, pues no es necesario. Yo ya olvidé lo que pasó. Yo le dejé esa depresión a Dios, le dejé esa angustia de tristeza a Dios. Cuando pasó eso, le dejé todo eso en las manos a Dios.
She did say, I don't expect to receive any apologies. It's not necessary. I erased what happened. I gave it to God. So it seems like what's between them has been resolved. But now that it is out to the public, it's kind of a sticky situation because the racial slur that she used is hurtful to such a huge community.
It's a big word. Like,
it is.
You know, it offends a lot of people. I'm colored, so it would offend. If she said it to me, it would offend me. But anyone who's a different race saying that, that's a big word.
Yeah, I agree.
Be, you know.
No matter who says it, I agree.
Right.
For sure. And I hate that people are using the whole, well, she dated Ricochet, so she can't be racist.
God, I hate
Holy
that.
shit, people. Stop justifying people's actions by who they date, who their best friend is, and all stuff. It is so stupid and bullshit. That just pisses me off so much. Like, oh, I'm not racist. I can't be racist. My baby daddy is black, or my baby daddy's Mexican. And then I saw another tweet that said to Tessa can't be racist. She's engaged to a Mexican. By the way, he's Puerto Rican. But all right. Anyway, sorry, that got me hot about it. But it's just so crazy how people try to justify all these stupid things people say by like, oh, I'm not racist because my blank is blank.
Especially because she's such a big name in this industry and she represents the progress. So
I just really, really wish that this awesome historic moment for women's wrestling wasn't tainted, or why are we talking about this as opposed to how awesome the win was for Tessa. It's so disappointing. I think this would have been a different tone or a different like taste in her mouth if like Tessa would have just been like, yo, straight up, like I messed up,
and
I was dumb.
That was it.
Yeah, and just apologize, learn from it, grow from it. And even if she did mention that between her and La Rosa's thing was done and said for, but I just really wish that this was handled better.
Yeah,
she's a big name wrestler.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different race people out there that follow her, idol her.
Yeah,
and for her to say something like that'll bring her ratings down real low.
Hopefully this gets resolved, addressed, and
let's move to the next news. Paige, I don't even know what it was from, but Triple H was doing some media interview, and then he made a joke.
When you're talking about people as talented as Edge, Paige, who wouldn't want them to return? I'm a fan just like everyone else. More importantly than that, though, I'd like to see them live long, healthy lives. Edge has kids. Paige, maybe she probably has something she doesn't know of. But thank you.
Paige, I'm sure, has a couple that she doesn't know of.
What? He said that?
What?
And then,
that's so random.
And then Paige commented by saying, even my boss jokes about me. No wonder you guys still do it too.
Oh,
that's really sad. That's really sad.
That made me sad.
Yeah.
Triple H, what are you doing? Stop turning into Vince. You're like the opposite of him. What are you doing? This is why NXT and what you do works. What are you doing trying to be Vince and saying shit like this? Come on now.
Inappropriate.
Seriously.
That's it. Inappropriate, Triple H. Inappropriate. Get it together. So Triple H got it together. So later in the interview, Paige mentioned that Triple H did reach out to her and they talked about it.
He's definitely reached out. We're going to be talking about it.
And Triple H also publicly apologized online, saying, I reached out to Paige to apologize. I made a terrible joke and I'm sorry if it offended her or anyone else. It's actually kind of funny because when he did that joke, you can see it in his eyes. He's like, I probably f***ed it up. But anyway, it's just a weird time in wrestling that even just apologizing seems like a breath of fresh air. But learn from this. And good job for apologizing. Kris Statlander.
I can never say her last name.
It's an alien name, so I can't really pronounce it. But Statlander talked about turning down WWE offer.
Man.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with WWE was interested in me also and stuff, so I didn't know what was the right choice for me. Getting signed was never an actual legit goal of mine in wrestling. I am thoroughly enjoying all my time that I've been with AEW.
I mean, it's her choice, but it's kind of surprising because, you know, anybody who I feel like that steps into the ring, like their goal is to be in WWE, or that's what you are at least made out to think. Mm-hmm. But I think it's cool that she was able to pick the right choice for her, that she even had a choice. That's cool. A lot of people don't even have that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I respect her answer. There's a lot of people that just do wrestling just because they love doing it and for the fun of it. Some people are doing it because we want to make it to WWE. Yeah. If somebody offered me a contract to WWE and I've been doing wrestling for 12 years, I'd be like, heck yeah, where it's at. You know, but I get where I kind of respect where she coming from, because once you make that big step and sign, you can't, there's no going back to indie companies unless you're not with them anymore.
Also, just the way that WWE has been signing indie talent has been almost like, let's stack everyone up so AEW cannot steal them. Yeah. So maybe she was promised like a more significant role in AEW. Yeah. Seeing all these like named signs, like Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah. Did they sign her just so she won't sign with AEW, or are they really gonna use her and, you know, you really use her talents appropriately? Yeah. Yeah, because I do have a feeling that WWE is signing people just for the simple fact so AEW or nobody else can get them, unfortunately. So hopefully, I'm glad she's enjoying her time in AEW. She's killing it there. I like her.
Let's move to the last news of this week.
Lots of news.
So Ember Moon had a little podcast with Booker T, and she really spilled some tea. There's some parts about Royal Rumble, about how like 2 years ago for the first women's Royal Rumble, everyone was like working together, but last year everyone was tired, so they're like, whatever. So like,
I'm not gonna say names because I feel like that's not cool, but there were a whole bunch of people that were very tired because we were doing one of those crazy appearance weeks and stuff like that. We'd all been going since like 4 or 5 in the morning, you know, and people got frustrated and angry and didn't want to work.
Ember was kind of annoyed by it because Ember has a school, so she's like helping each other is kind of in her blood, I guess. But she was like kind of shocked by it. But the big news that she talked about really made me like, that is so freaking true, is that WWE forgot to book low card and mid card.
With the roster being so big, like maybe we need like a rotating roster or something like that, because I feel like we've lost that ability to tell those stories in the lower card.
What?
I'm trying to get the words together. Like,
that's how stunned you are about it. I guess as owning and helping promote and book a company, you're like, how did you forget to book
how
the
did you
middle
forget
card and lower card?
I don't forget to do that.
It's true though. Like you only have
like a big company for you to how
exactly.
And it's true, though, because all you have really big storylines going on is just, like, the main event or the main storylines. Like, what about everybody else? Everybody else is just kind of, like, floating. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That's a good point, Ember.
Even with Alexa Bliss, like, she was the smart one. She was the quick thinker. She's the cunning one. And then now that she's in low card, mid card, she's dumb. She's like just looking at Otis coming out. She's
she gets distracted by music.
Like, what is going on? And this has been happening for a long time. Like, Iconics, where is she? Like, WWE made this extra title, tag team title, so that they can have this whole middle card for women, but they're not even using it.
No.
They're just like merged into the main card. I think NXT is kind of doing a good job with it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of it because they're not just focusing on one storyline. There's multiple things going on.
There, yeah.
I think it's kind of hard to fix it now because it's about to be like WrestleMania season. Yeah. Unless they start fixing it in Royal Rumble, I think that would be a good point to start it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it should have been started a long time ago, but to fix it, I guess you could start at the Royal Rumble.
Even with the Royal Rumble this year, it's so
like an
clear.
afterthought.
It's so afterthought, but it's also like so clear. Less than 5 people that has potential to win.
Yeah.
Not even like there's like 3 people that can win. Like, right?
There's 2 people that can win.
So clear that WWE cares nothing about 95% of their roster. It's really just sad.
That very sad.
I hope you fix it, WWE. Get it together. Like, that's the theme.
The thing of this week's episode is
at least they're paying them well now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good news. Chingle, there you go. And yes, I know that Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez is officially signed with WWE right now. We weren't able to talk about it this week, but we will sure talk about it in the following weeks. So tune in for that conversation next week. Thank you so much for watching this week's News and Rumor. There was a lot of tea spilled, but fun time. What a fun time.
I know. Great timing for us to do a video.
Where can you find you, Kendra?
My Twitter is KO Kendra. My Instagram is KinKin9122.
9122. What is that?
Yeah, I was born, and I was 22 at the time when I made that page.
There you go. You could find me on Instagram and Twitter at Paloma Star. And on the 25th, you could find me and Kendra facing each other at White. Exciting. At Southland Championship Wrestling in Chebanese, Illinois.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going down.
Pretty sure I am, but I'm gonna give her a go. It ain't gonna be easy.
It's a women's championship?
Yes.
Ooh, nice. And you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. Alright, bye.